When did you learn on the 20th? Look, we had the colonel's authority to travel the northern route. He was the one who told us to take the northern route. Did you learn that on the 20th of February?
Yes, sir. By Rodney Hyatt advised that one of the questions we specifically were directed to find out was did they have prior approval to stay at Grand Canyon in Las Vegas. We asked everyone else, I say everyone, that's Alex, Durrell, and Thurman. They kind of pointed it towards Rodney, that Rodney had the conversation that morning that they left. And when we spoke to Rodney, he indicated that yes, the colonel had authorized or sanctioned them to take that route.
Look at any other people's travel expense that went on the trip to San Diego on their travel expense documents to see if they claim tier 3 all the way.
No, sir.
Well, let me show you Colonel Edmondson's travel statement, which I will mark.
Colonel Edmondson is not the one being disciplined here, so I think that his travel statements are relevant.
The reason it's relevant is we have a dispute about the interpretation of tiers and whether the tiers. Let me ask you a question. I'm going to back off a minute. Let me ask you a question.
But he hasn't alleged discrimination. So
I'm not trying to allege discrimination. I'm trying to show that it is not clear in the regulations how you do this for multi-day travel where you're in different locations in different states each night.
I don't think we can figure out what other people know. It's what these appellants did.
What I'm interested in, Colonel Dupree
I don't
did.
think he hasn't asked the question yet, so we don't know. I don't think you should be objecting to. Let's ask the question, then you object, and then we're gonna talk. How's that?
Fine. I'm going to show you Colonel Edmondson's travel statement, just so everybody will know where we got it. Mr. Aswell requested these documents in a public records request, and the department responded to the public record request and gave Colonel Dupree's and Colonel Edmondson. This is not something we snuck up somewhere. This is what they produced publicly. What did Colonel Edmondson, on his last day of travel, which tier did he use?
Okay, don't answer yet.
And now I'm going to object because what other people have done is not relevant. They have not alleged discrimination in this case.
And I am not doing it alleging discrimination and we're being treated different than the colonel. The colonel could do what he wants. As far as I can tell, that's what he did. My point is to try and demonstrate that different people saw it the same way my client saw it.
Overruled.
Would you answer the question?
What was the question again?
Which tier on the last day of his travel did Colonel Edmondson use when his final destination was Baton Rouge?
It doesn't list a tier, but according to the cost.
$61 is tier 3, isn't it?
That's correct.
All right. Same question, Colonel Dupree.
It says tier 3, $61.
Is it your contention that they supposed to map out in advance where they were going to stop before they leave?
It's my contention that if they stayed in a tier 2 city, that should be what they claimed for that night.
And this language is what you determine it to be. Where did Colonel Dupree stay on the last day of his return from San Diego, according to his travel documents?
I believe it said Baton Rouge.
Where did Colonel Edmondson stay on the last day of his travel, based on his travel documents?
I think it also said Baton Rouge.
And Baton Rouge is not a tier 3 city,
That's correct.
but each of them chose to elect a tier 3 city, correct? Or utilize a tier 3 city for meal reimbursement.
Correct.
You ever been to Amarillo around 10 o'clock at night trying to find a hotel room?
No, sir.
So do you have any information as to whether or not hotel rooms at $91 or less are available in Amarillo at 10 o'clock at night?
I do not.
Can you tell me whether or not Rodney Hyatt's LaCourte card for the hotels was approved? And if so, by whom?
Yes, it was approved by his, looks like his commander,
And who was that?
like Captain Gratian.
Okay, would you look at 87, Darrell Williams' LaCourte card? Were his hotel charges approved?
Yes, sir.
By whom?
That was the ones that Ms. Vogelman stamped and Colonel Evans' signature.
Well, are we gonna get back into the argument whether or not it was approved by Colonel Edmondson? She used his stamp. Do you have any evidence that she had no authority to use his stamp to approve that?
No, and I'm not intending that, I was just,
Yes, sir.
That's the one she
Making the
stamped.
same point Michelle wants to make, I understand that. Hotel card for Thurman Williams.
Miller?
Thurman Miller.
Yes, sir.
Was it approved?
Yes, sir.
You know, I can't tell by who. Can you?
I believe it's Lieutenant Jason Smith, but I'm not 100% certain. Looks like Smith.
But anybody, somebody approved his,
Correct.
somebody approved his time, didn't they? What's the date of this press release?
It's dated February 20th, 2017 at 5:12 p.m.
Who is this, a statement by whom?
In the top under the subject, it said Colonel Mike Edmondson's statement on the continuing review of the International Police Conference trip to San Diego.
Okay, read the first line.
After learning last week of the fact that agency representatives traveling to a conference in San Diego claimed overtime and traveled through Las Vegas, I immediately began a review of the circumstances surrounding the trip.
Now, stop right there. Any doubt in your mind, based on all the evidence you've seen, that he damn sure knew before February 20th, or before the week before February 20th, that they had gone to Las Vegas, and they'd taken the northern route, and they're going to the Hoover Dam, and they're going to Grand Canyon? No doubt in your mind about that, Major?
That's correct.
Well, hadn't you seen emails and photographs and received testimony that he knew at the time of that travel?
That they were going to those locations, yes, sir.
To change policies to reflect paid overtime may not be claimed for travel or conference training except in extraordinary circumstances approved by the superintendent. Did that occur?
There were policy changes, yes, sir.
And the reason they needed policy changes is because before this date, the policy allowed the claiming of overtime, just like the Fair Labor Standards Act requires the payment of overtime, and the state travel guide requires the payment of overtime. True?
I'm gonna object. I don't know that he knows what the reason behind the policy.
He can testify if he doesn't know, but I believe David McClendon is a real sharp guy and knows exactly what the Fair Labor Standards Act says, exactly what the state policy says, and I think you can ask, or you can say you can't answer the question, it's okay.
Overruled, you didn't answer the question, what do you know?
I don't remember the exact wording of it.
Tell you what, David, I'm gonna skip that one. I'm interested in Darrell Williams. Man was gone 10 days, right? He claimed 88 hours, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any doubt?
I think it was 88, I'm not sure the exact number, but.
Trust me, I'm not gonna purposely lead you wrong, David. You determined he was entitled to claim a lot more than 88 hours, isn't that true?
I'm determined that he underclaimed his time that he could have claimed, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.